I saw an interesting piece earlier. It was basically titled, "Is Uber suffering from cancel culture?" I thought, oh yeah, I'd love for them to be cancelled. But I read the article and it wasn't about that at all. It was about the behaviour of Uber drivers cancelling jobs and not going to all the fairs as if it was a big issue from a public point of view. Of course it is. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't only happen with Uber, and I hope I can educate you as to the taxi industry as a whole. How do everyone? Welcome back to the channel for a Sunday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm looking forward to the old get all the Christmas nosh out of the way and eaten before we all have to be good again tomorrow. Well, we have big problems with the taxi industry in this country, quite frankly, at the moment, and it's probably the same in other countries as well. And the simple reason is the pandemic has made a bad situation a hell of a lot worse. I mean, before I go on, have a look at this news article. Yes, Uber is getting a kicking by passengers who feel abandoned, with Uber drivers actually taking on fares and then, dropping them at the last minute. And there was a report of somebody getting stuck in London at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and couldn't get home because Uber was completely unreliable. And unfortunately, this just isn't, specific to Uber. I wish it was. But what you've got to look at is the fuel's gone up. In a lot of places now, it's like 145, 150 a litre for diesel. And, that takes a fair chunk of your profit. I mean, I used to be able to get to Gatwick and back on about 30 quid, and now it's more like 40. That's just from an airport point of view. And the running costs of any taxi are quite high as well, particularly if you've not been doing it for very long. One of the major bugbears is the insurance. I mean, I think it's about £1,000 a year now, but if you're relatively new, you could be looking at even £4,000 for a private hire insurance policy if you're just coming into it. So all of these things add up, and you've got to make your time as profitable as possible. And, one of the other issues as well is if you're sitting across one side of town, a taxi controller or an app, if it's done like that, could pull you to the other side of town. And the fare that you're actually going for just isn't profitable at all, because by the time you get there, you probably used most of it in juice. And if you're driving along, you might end up getting something else elsewhere, which is even more profitable. So it all adds up. Also, with the pandemic as well, a lot of taxi drivers have just stopped. They've either gone and started doing food deliveries, or they've just plain retired altogether, because it's not safe for them to do so anymore, work, or they're made to feel like that. It's an utter disaster. Around here now, you probably an hour wait for a cab is quite common. I don't know what it's like in London, but it's not Uber specific. It's everywhere, all the time, with everybody. Whether it changes or not, we'll have to see, but certainly not great at the moment for the cab industry as a whole. Let me know if you've got any feedback in the comments below, if you've had a bad time with taxis or whatever. It's good to get the cross section all over the country from north to south, really, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go now, and hope that helped. I'll see you soon with another one. Toodaloo.